Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. And if you're just tuning in for the first time, welcome to the Legion of Valkyries 2020 July 2020 Dota2 finals. My name is Zir and I'll be your caster for today. And if you're not tuning in for the first time, welcome back, guys. This is me again, your friendly voice, over on the Legion of Valkyries July Dota2 female finals. So right now we'll be watching a pretty hyped up finals, I would say, in this July season of the Legion of Valkyries. We have Pacific Pink from Philippines facing up against Tofu and Friends from Thailand. So for those who are uneducated, Pacific Pink is one of the strongest female teams from the region, and they've been stayed intact with this roster for the longest of time. We have KJ as captain, NM, Naomi, Sherry, and as well as Miri, who is in fact a Singaporean. Meanwhile, on the side of Tofu and Friends, they are not complete strangers to this scene as well. We have Sleepless on the captain, Ning and Miki, Shada, as well as Nana, and we'll be watching them fight it out for a huge chunk of the prize pool for the July edition of the Legion of Valkyries. They will be fighting out in a best of 3. And the first place will be getting $600 US. Second place will be getting $250 US. Last but not least, the third place walks home with $150 US. So just a quick update for you guys who are not aware of the third place matchup. We have Bren Esports as well as Ruby Redemption facing up against each other over there. But on the mainstream right now, you'll be watching the grand finals, which is the best of 3. And of course, this tournament is proudly sponsored by Legion Lenovo. And I just noticed we are almost very far ahead in the draft already. On towards the second ban phase. Pacific Pink has banned out the Queen of Pain, the Treant Protector, as well as the Terrorblade, while Tofu and Friends has banned out the Rubik, Slada, as well as the Shadow Fiend. Ogre Magi, as well as the Clockwork, has been the first 2 picks for the Filipino side, while Tofu and Friends picking up the Tiny and Oracle as their first 2 pick. So Pacific Pink already have 2 very tanky frontliners. The Ogre, we've seen it played in multitude of positions, either as a support or even as an off lane. Rarely we do see him in the mid lane, but you know, I'm not expecting him to go mid anytime soon on this Ogre Magi, just countered by too many heroes. Clockwork has the same situation. We can see the Clockwork going towards the off lane or even as a position 4 or 5 support, so pretty flexible for the side of Pacific Pink. Tofu and Friends, meanwhile, they have the Tiny as well as the Oracle picked up already, so the Tiny is a pretty flexible hero as well, can go towards all 3 lanes either as a support or as an off lane or even as a mid hero. Oracle has his role pretty much set in stone. He's always going to be that position 5 support, always in the back line, just saving you with the Fate's Edicts or even with the False Promise. So these 2 picks from the side of Tofu and Friends does lean towards a position 3 Tiny. Of course, we might see Tofu and Friends mix things up a little bit. Maybe put the Tiny towards the mid or the off lane if they see a better matchup or if they need something else as the support. So they do have that flexibility going for them. Stormer Spirit will be the 5th ban for Tofu and Friends, which they in the previous phase they did ban out the Legion Commander as well. Anti-Mage, a very strong and very much in meta carry hero, has been banned out there by Pacific Pink. So they have been banning out the Terrorblade as well as the Anti-Mage. So I'm guessing that Pacific Pink does have a late game right clicking carry in mind, something along the lines of maybe a Medusa, something like a Juggernaut is fantastic paired up with a Ogre Magi as well. The bonus attack speed buff, which is the Bloodlust, is always great for a attack speed requiring carry. We do still have the Troll Warlords left in the pool. So is the Spectre that either one of these teams can pick up. They are just so strong in the current meta. Pacific Pink will be banning out the Troll themselves, so not wanting all these strong late game carries left in the pool, and they want to pick the the strongest carry left after all these bans. So I'm thinking heroes like the Juggernaut, heroes like the Spectre does fit very well right now for the side of Pacific Pink. Even something a little bit off meta is still very much doable. Heroes like the Arc Warden has been buffed recently and has just been so strong in the upper tier competitive scene, so we might be seeing either one of these teams emulate that success in the Legion of Valkyries Dota2 July finals. Venomancer will be the third pick here for the side of Pacific Pink. So we've been seeing this hero in the off lane quite a bit, and I'm not completely against this hero. It's just that, you know, the Venomancer doesn't provide any type of great crowd control. He does have a lot of team fight, you know, with the constant venomous wards, his ultimate as well. Even the venomous gale does a lot of slow, but it's not instant damage, something that the Oracle really likes to work against. And even instant damage, Oracle, a good Oracle is always in the right place in the right time. He of course sees all, and will be able to predict fights happening across the map. We still have the Clinks left in the pool, something I'm expecting to be picked up in one of these best of 3 series. It's just been such a strong mid laner, very tanky, a lot of damage. The assassin type of mid heroes are very much in meta right now. Heroes like the Quap, heroes like the Clinks that can just jump towards the back lines and just go for his supports. Not so much, I think, would be a great pick for the side of Tofu and Friends, because for the side of Pacific Pink, their heroes are very tanky. Venomancer is susceptibly tanky, and even if you jump on him, he just needs to press an ultimate, and even if he dies, it's a job well done for the Venomancer. So I'm expecting Pacific Pink to maybe pick up that Clinks. Tofu and Friends will pick up their carry right away. It's the Phantom Assassin, who has received decent amount of buffs in the latest patches. He has a base damage increase, blur cooldown reduction after the scepter, of course, and of course some talent reshuffling. They no longer get cleave at level 25, so it's a choice between armor reduction as well as Phantom Strike cast range. So 350 Phantom Strike cast range will allow you to jump towards the backlines very easily. But right now, there's not much of a backline to jump on, and Pacific Pink is going to double down on that, picking up an Ursa as the 4th pick, another strong carry hero in the latest patch. Much shorter in reach cooldowns in the earlier phase, but the Earth Shock has been nerfed quite a bit into the later stages of the game. Tofu and Friends picking up the Mars as their 4th pick, which sets a lot of heroes up if they want to pick it. I mean, there is still a lot of heroes left in the pool. If Tofu and Friends wants to go for a Clinks, it's still pretty much left open for them. There is a couple of disables on the side of Pacific Pink, but nothing too hard to play against. While Pacific Pink, they might be thinking of something like a Razor, which is fantastic against the Phantom Assassin, great against the Mars as well. Even though the farming speed of the Razor has been nerfed quite a bit, he does still have that brand new static link that you're not forced to attack on one target, but you instead can choose to attack any target you want, even if you're on the static link. But of course, when you get something that strong, you will have some nerfs, and that was in the way of the Eye of the Storm no longer having a passive component. So you can't really just lose the lane, stack the jungle, and then just AFK jungle for a few minutes. No, you have to play more aggressively in the lane right now, because just mainly you have a much stronger static link. But we'll have to wait and see if that's what they decide to go to. Pacific Pink does have the Ursa to deal with the Mars, but they do have still one mid hero left in the pool for them to pick up. We'll wait and see what that hero is. They do ban out the Magnus, not wanting to have a Phantom Assassin Magnus to deal with. The Magnus, all he does need to do is just press a W, get a RP once or twice, And that just sets up the Phantom Assassin for victory. While, you know, Pacific Pink, they also ban out the Wind Ranger. So a little, a hero that we don't see that often, but it's fantastic against the Ursa. Pretty much ignores the Venomancer slows, and she's a pretty agile hero, very mobile hero that you are going to find trying to catch. Oh, it looks like Tofu and friends, they missed out one ban throughout this entire 7 hero ban phase, so they are at a slight disadvantage, but they do pick up the Pugna as the last pick. Great against the Ursa, great for keeping the Phantom Assassin alive as well. So this does seem to look like a position for Tiny, as well as a mid Pugna. This could be a mid Mars, of course, if they want to avoid the matchup against the Ursa. They can put the Pugna or the Tiny as their offlane hero, and the other one just supports the other. You can always toss back the Ursa, toss your Pugna out of harm's way, or even just using the Decrepify to just stop any sort of aggression. 1 second left for setup Pacific Pink, and they will pick up the Templar Assassin, another assassin hero that we talked about earlier on. They will pick that up, so that's gonna give them some ways to just be much stronger in the lane, and also be in a great position to just keep farming stacks. They have 2 mid-game heroes with the Ursa and Templar Assassin, so they want to be ahead as much as possible in the early game, or else once this Phantom Assassin gets that BKB, she becomes just becomes a problem towards the late game that Tofu and friends might be able to deal with. They have a Pugna, they have they have the Clockwork, they have the Ogre for the lockdowns, but that might not be enough against a Phantom Assassin. So we have to wait and see how these two teams fare, because it's not going to be an easy ride for both of them in this grand finals of the Legion of Valkyries Dota2 July 2020. It's going to be Pacific Pink facing up against Tofu and friends in game 1 of this best of 3 series. And here we go, ladies and gentlemen, game 1 of this best of 3 series. On the side of Pacific Pink, who is playing on the Radiant, we have Sherry playing on the Ursa. Clockwork is played by KJ. We have, this should be, if I'm not mistaken, let me just double check, I don't want to get their names wrong. This should be Naomi on the support, Ogre Magi. We're gonna have NM on the off lane Venomancer, and last but not least we have Miri playing towards the mid. Meanwhile, on the dark side, we do, for the side of Tofu and friends, we have Sleepless the captain playing on the position 4 Tiny. We have Pugna played by Ningen. Oracle is played by Honey Lisa. The Mars will be Shada, and last but not least Nana on the Phantom Assassin. Just a slight pause. That's, just a disconnect coming in from the side of oh no, just checking. Oh, it is the Ogre Magi disconnecting, so she's gonna reconnect, no problems there. And I expect us to jump in the game very soon. So the Tiny is starting out with boots, so that's going to allow him to be able to rotate very efficiently, as well as just get some trades if she decides to go for the tree grab. Of course, she can also go for the toss and just start setting up plays. Toss back into a skewer into the tower is always very potent, something we see very often as well. So let's just see which one of it is it going to be. Ooh, let me just change one setting, which will allow you guys to have a better view of the game. And laning wise, it's pretty much going to be very fixed and standard here. It's going to be the Phantom Assassin going up towards the top lane, the Pugna on the mid, as well as the Mars going towards the off lane. He already went for God's Rebuke, so wanting to secure the early few last hits and hope to snowball from there. Meanwhile, bottom lane we have the Clockwork played by KJ. She's gonna be starting out with the boots as well, which is going to allow her to play very much aggressively. And with this lane, along with Naomi, they have a lot of Q potential. They're gonna spot out the Mars, gets the instant off, battery assault, and this is pretty much gonna be one dead Mars. There is boots on the Clockwork already. The battery assault gonna slow them down quite a bit, but Ursa will not be able to get any right clicks off. The toss back of the Clockwork on towards the Pugna will stop any further aggression, and this is going to be a fight on towards the bounties. It's going to be Ogre being pushed back by the God's Rebuke, not able to get any, and might be in her life. She is pretty tanky, does have a lot of regen as well, with 7 regen a second. The toss is not going to be enough. KJ being able to help her out with the battery assault, and it's going to be Naomi trying to run away once again. Does still have plenty of HP. The armor on Ogre is just way too high, and regen as well. They are going to trade out a lot of skills for not much else. 2-2 is the bounty score, and we are off to a quick start, but no kills. It was 3 versus 3 towards the bottom lane, so it did left NM facing up against Nana for a little while, but not too much of an issue, using the Fortune's End to just get the last hit on towards the range creep, and NM is going to face a world of pain after his top lane. Just being right clicked away by Honey Lisa, which means that a Clockwork has to rotate out towards the top lane to help her out. And then might be some trouble. Here comes the Fortune's End. One again, got barrier assault. Will it be enough to save the body blocks? Is perfect from KJ. The Fairy Fire was popped as well by the Venomancer to try and keep her alive. Not to mention she does have the magic wand up and running already. But this Venomancer has taken a world of pain, and she's not going to be in the best of position. And she might die once again. This is going to be Fortune's End connecting one more rocket. Should be able to seal the deal, and it will be Nana claiming the first blood on this Phantom Assassin. Great start for her. Let's see if she's able to transition after that. Meanwhile, mid lane, Miri. Such a great lane for the Phantom Assassin. Able to both harass as well as deny at the same time. Not to mention, the range on that spill is very annoying to deal with. As you can see from the last hits, Miri having absolute dominance in this middle lane. Against the Pugna, they have a lot of work to do if they want to have any sort of way to win this mid lane. Rotations have to come in against this Templar Assassin. Meanwhile, bottom lane, Mars already level 3, gets stunned up by the Ogre. The Fire Blast is enough, but the Spear of God is able to push him back, and not able to consistently deal damage onto her Shada. Sleepless will be able to get a pull off. Well, pretty much the entire pull off, so that's gonna slow the lane pushing up. Meanwhile, top lane, we do have the Clockwork being slowed down there, but the Venomous Gale able to slow things down. Nana going in very aggressively, gets a kill on towards KJ, but Nana might pay with her life. She's in deny range. She has to commit. She has to finish this Phantom Assassin, and she does. And then nicely done, getting a trade. Much worth it for the side of Pacific Pink. They lose only a support, and they might lose a little bit more. Honey Lisa being slowed down there by the poison sting, but KJ was not in range to follow up, so that's gonna leave Honey Lisa able to limp away in safety. Meanwhile, bottom lane still pretty much at a stalemate. Ursa and Mars both have decent farm so far. Sleepless might have over committed here, but the stun, oh, is it enough to kill off Sherry? This Ogre does help with a Fire Blast, does not have a Orb of Venom, so they can't chase up on towards this Tiny. The Tiny will be able to walk away without being in harm's way, able to maybe suicide to the tower, or even just walk all the way back to base and TP back to provide the Ursa some provide the Mars some help after that. As well as regen, of course. Looks like the Tiny is gonna make it back, bring up some regen for the Mars, maybe TP's back in, and they're gonna have an okay lane. Mid lane, the Templar Assassin still leading the charge here. 22 last hits towards the Pugna's 14. Great rune spawn for the Templar Assassin as well. So that's gonna help her get back into the lane. Top lane, Nana in a lot of trouble. The cogs do not land. Nana gets pushed back, but no much damage is going to land on this Phantom Assassin. She is facing the pressure, but at least with the Stifling Dagger, she's still able to stay in lane. The side blades is just so annoying to deal with for a Pugna. Even though you do have superior range, you can't really constantly lay the harass, because once an ally creep or even an enemy creep that's in front of you, just take that spear damage for free that bypasses true armor. Meanwhile, Bounty Runes is going to spawn. They're going to leave one to the Pugna. Well, it seems like it's going to be Pacific Ping once again getting all three. Mars coming in, this toss back, as well as the Spear of Mars knocking back the Ogre Magi, who is out of mana, does have one stun or one bloodlust, depending on what they go for, but they will in fact decide to buff up the Ursa before anything else. Oh, top lane and then being chased down. Fortune Sand, they do have the follow as well as the Purifying Flames, able to get a last hit onto us, and then that's going to be one dead Venomancer. They might go for more here. KJ quite tanky right now, completing the magic wand. Does have the boots of speed as well, so that's going to make her a little bit too mobile. Mid lane, Templar Assassin taking a little bit of damage from the life drain, and life drain having such a short cooldown can be spammed out quite quickly here. Again, let's have to watch out, because bounty runes are gonna power runes are gonna spawn. Clockwork is there to try and contest. It's gonna be a rune to be picked up there by the Pugna. It's gonna be an illusion, not the biggest rune in the entire game, but at this moment you can use them to stack, you can use them to block creeps, you can even use them to just ignore them. Game is slowing down quite a bit. Here comes the Clockwork rotating in, the stun coming in, the battery is out. Where is the Cogs? Cogs is going to connect onto us, one maybe, or maybe two. Sleepless gets slowed down and will be killed off there. The tower not able to help out much, and that's going to be the kill for Sherry in the bottom lane. Meanwhile, that just leaves the Venomancer all alone. He is almost level 6. The damage coming in, it might be enough. But they are going to try and get a kill on towards the Oracle first, and they do, and then reaches level 6, pops the ultimate, does have Poison Sting, as well as Serpent Ward. Will she be able to juke? Nana blinks in, one more right click, oh no, the magic stick, just in time, the body block's not going to be it. Nana with her own magic stick, as well as the blur, will be able to run away. And ticks down quite low, but not going to be lethal. Phantom Assassin lives to see another day. Oh, KJ gets caught out by the nice Cogs, trying to fight back. The battery assault stops the life drain. One more slow is ready. The Psionic Trap is placed in a nice position there for Miri to use if she wants to, but looks like they will not, as Miri is still ahead of the pack right now in terms of last hits, 53 to 12. That's why an Oracle is just so difficult to play with. Bottom lane looks like Mars did use his ultimate, but to no avail. They don't net any kills. Phantom Assassin picks up a Faded Brooch from the enemy's jungle. So it's gonna be a uphill battle here for both teams, because they are still waiting for their core items on their core heroes, of course. But this Underlord is ready to go. He's the farmest. He's the most farmed hero in the game. On MM, top lane still trying to get her Veil. Life Drain used once again on towards Miri, but Miri shrugs it off. The slow coming in from the Psionic Trap is not enough to give chase on towards a Venomancer, on towards a Viper, a Pugna. The Pugna does pick up an Invis rune, so she's gonna be scouting it out, maybe waiting for the opportune moment to cast the ultimate. Meanwhile, top lane, it's gonna be okay, but mid lane, Templar Assassin taking a world of hurt. The slows coming in from the trap, not able to land, and they do need this level 6 on the clockwork here soon, as we are nearing the 10-minute mark. Royal Jelly is gonna be picked up there by Pugna, but Tiny did kill off the Ursa. And that's a very unexpected kill here in towards the bottom lane. Probably ultimate was used there by the Mars, and they secure the kill. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Power runes are bounty runes and power runes are gonna spawn very soon. And it looks like it's going to be 3 for Lord Tyrell again. Here we go, Venomancer being slowed down, pops the ultimate, but she might play with her life. Here comes the false promise. Continue giving chase is Nana. Roshan not able to help out, and the battery is doing quite a bit of damage. Looks like Nana will have to back off. And ooh, barely survives, barely keeping him alive. The Hogs was almost perfect, but to no avail, and that was one dead Shadow Demon. Meanwhile, mid lane, we do have the Templar Assassin continuously banged again and again. Speed does come in to help her fill up her bottle. Here we go, hook shot on towards Sue, the Sun Toss on towards the Clockwork will finish him off. The Pugna, oh, the Clockwork actually survives. The Pugna will fall. The Oracle tries to give chase. The Forces, Fate's Edict does stop him from right clicking any further. Our assassin going for her Desolator very soon. Does have one component up and running already. We'll need another Mithril Hammer to finish up the job. Top lane being pushed in there by the Venomancer. Mid lane, Pugna is trying to do it. Cogs as well as the damage. Oh, is it gonna be enough? The Pugna trying to survive. The battery assault will stop the lifesteal. That's gonna be another kill for KJ. Nicely done there by the Filipina. Meanwhile, top lane looks like the Venomancer was caught out and dead once again. So is the Pugna. As the Pugna with the CK ultimate just continuously checking and checking. Bottom lane, the Mars just cutting creep waves for now, tries to TP out. The Ursa does use Earth Shock to try and close out the distance, but it's going to be an effortless and futile attempt because the Ogre Magi will just be able to TP away. Mid lane, tier 1 tower does fall. Templar Assassin will be the one picking up. And she is still the most farmed hero right now on the entire game. We do have her doubling the net worth of almost the Pugna. Sorry, 50% of the damage onto the Pugna and plenty else that you can do with damage. Just farming the triangle for both teams. Knowing that our mid lane is pushed out, bottom lane is pushed out, so that leaves the top lane, which is where the enemy is supposed to. No, it's just this is a small matter. Nana might be some trouble. Uses the blink as well as the blur to get out of the way. The purifying flame still continues burning and then healing. That just creates a lot of opportunities for them. Ursa does get a kill on the top tier 1 tower, but looks like mid is where the side of Loki is the last. But I'm Assassin inching closer to that Valkyrie very soon, but the Templar Assassin already has a Desolator completed, and he has a kind of boots as well. So double damage rune makes it even quicker. Solar Crest is already up and running for the Ogre as well. Mid lane, Venomancer spots out the ward with a Mystic Ward. $2,000 net worth lead so far. Bounty runes about to spawn. It's going to seem like it's going to go to a piece as well. You have the Clockwork backing out a lot of these heroes with just his Ursa does have the drums as well as he's making towards a BK Black King bar. So let's just wait and see what sort of timing will both of these teams try and abuse. They do have the Roshan, so that's the timing they can play with. They have 5 minutes of almost no phones. 3 minutes. The gap is getting further and further so far. Venomancer making his way towards a Greaves. It's gonna be more items coming up for this Phantom Assassin once she completes her BKB. It's gonna be a butterfly. So straight up a butterfly here for the Phantom Assassin. Once she gets through, she'll be able to flash farm really quickly, but the pace of the game is slowing down. It's gonna favor slow late game heroes pretty much. Top tier 1 tower going down to half health with the courtesy of the siege wagon. So they have to protect that with their lives. Maybe with the Templar Assassin and the Desolator is gonna drop even quicker, and sure enough, it is melting like the truck. Double damage once again. Buff up on towards the Templar Assassin. We've seen this strat quite a bit in the, I believe it was the Manila Rangers. Still, right now, Pacific Pink pressuring their advantage, trying to go high ground. They have a 4,000 net worth lead advantage, not too much, but definitely not too shabby as well. So this tier 1 tower taking quite a chunk of damage, down to half health already, and it's going to be even worse. We might see a smoke here coming out from the side of Pacific Pink, and that is exactly what he does. Observer War is being denied. Lava Stone, great for Rubik. Meanwhile, 4,000 net worth lead so far. The Phantom Assassin is still leading in terms of net worth, but only by a slight margin, as the Dota2 scene is pretty big here as well. Mid lane, tier 2 tower being dropped down to half health so far. They do have the Pugna Wall to try and dissuade any further pushes, but it's not going to be enough. They use the glyph for the top lane.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Imclaw will be picked up there by the Ursa, so that's gonna allow him to have bonus damage. And we have another short pause coming in. It's gonna come up from the side of Pacific Pink. So probably just a small disconnect issue, nothing too bad. So guys, don't go anywhere. This is the Rise of Legion July, Dota 2 July 2020 finals, where we have Pacific Pink, an all-female team from the Philippines, facing up against Tofu and friends. We have a mixed bag here in terms of players, and we will continue on with the game as everyone's back. BKB done on towards the Ursa. You might see a very hard and fast high ground push coming in from the Radiant side as all the core items are up. Blink Dagger on the Phantom Assassin as well. What are they gonna do with this? They do still have the Aegis for at least 2 more minutes. Sorry, actually 20 seconds left on this Aegis, so they have to make up their minds on something they want to commit to, or even just use this background as a background. Ursa, the Bloodlust buff is just so fantastic on Ursa. Allows him to just attack faster, stronger, which inadvertently buffs up the first swipe's damage as well. So we might be something to that effect. Bottom lane is going to be the tower to go to, as the Pugna has already been set up to defend there. Ogre will be required as well. Top lane, 2 TPs in, but there is no one up in the top lane. Now the runes are gonna spawn. It's gonna be 2 apiece once again, and the side of the side of Tofu and friends, they are just having a very slow game with not much slow heroes, in fact. Right now they're just sticking together for the side of Tofu and friends, while for the Radiant side they feel more comfortable just split pushing, not wanting to take a live 1v1 fight. Mid lane, you did hurt the tiny jumping in, but looks like the refraction did save his life, blocks out a lot of calls as well. So we're down 21 minutes in, 8,000 net worth so far. That's a pretty huge discrepancy across both teams, as this early on you don't expect to be this far behind, but this Templar Assassin has been doing wonders for herself on top of the net worth chart for quite a bit. It's going to be second on towards Sleepless on towards the Ursa as well, who is going to have to wait and see how they deal with this. So Tiny, what does he have? Blink Dagger up already. Are they waiting for it? BKB for the Templar Assassin. That's the only item timing we're waiting for, and that's it. That's gonna be the BKB. Once he has that, this Templar Assassin should feel very comfortable pushing up towards the high ground with the Ursa. She did go for the attack speed talent as well as the psionic trap damage, so that's where a lot of the damage did go to. Tofu and friends are just being locked out of their house right now. It's gonna be quite a bit before we might be seeing the next fight, because Aegis did expire a couple of minutes ago. Roshan is about to spawn, so maybe the side of Pacific Pink is waiting for the Roshan before pushing up towards the high ground. Ogre Magi is still walking around with brown boots, but hey, disarmed. As far as eliminated, of course, should be viewed by anyone. Bottom lane, tier 2 tower going down low real quick. Ursa was there trying to cut someone off, but to no avail, as this tier 2 tower is gonna melt, and one more tower left to go before they communicate with the guys. We'll see. Net worth has been stagnant for the past 2 minutes, so that's good news for the side of Tofu and friends, because they will be able to speak again. Roshan about to spawn in 1 minute, so Pacific Pink might not go high ground yet, might just be waiting for the Roshan before it spawns. She does have a trap inside, so she will know the instant it spawns. But this BKB is still 10 seconds up. They want to use it as soon as possible for a game-winning fight. This Templar Assassin is doing so much damage with the... Sorry, with the... I lost my train of thought there. It's alright, 24 minutes in. Roshan is about to spawn in 30 seconds. So that's where the next point of contention will be. Which team has a better team fight? I think for the side of Tofu and friends, they do have a lot of team fight. What with the Mars as well as the Tiny, as well as Oracle. But pause coming through once again. Pugna is the one calling out a pause. And we're gonna go for a short disconnect. But players have fun with the Meepo, Whack-A-Meepo. Don't go anywhere, guys. This game is still going on. You guys are just tuning in. This is the Legion of Valkyries Dota 2 July 2020 female finals. We have Pacific Pink from Philippines facing up against Tofu and friends all the way from Thailand. They do have a couple of international players. Miri is Singaporean for the side of Pacific Pink, I think, and of course we do have you fantastic guys from the gaming company. We might be not resuming anytime soon, but the Venomancer are just having fun playing along with the Meepos. 10,000 net worth, not a huge thing to overcome. 24 minutes in, it is quite high, but they just need one mistake from this Templar Assassin, because Templar Assassin does fall off towards the later stages of the game. She just needs way too much items and not enough item slots. There is an option to go for a PC, maybe like with great specs, but that's all that's needed for this game, as once the Roshan spawns, that's going to be the timing that Pacific Pink is looking for. The Roshan with the 80s energies go up high ground and start pressuring on the tier 3s. But until then, we might have to wait a bit for the Pugna to reconnect. I'll keep you guys updated. Don't go in there. This is Legion of Valkyries Dota 2 finals. We won't be going for a break page. We'll be just instead staying here. And then if you see the game is back up, haha. That's when I'll be back, that's when all the players will be back, and that's when we will enjoy some quality Dota 2. And looks like all the players are back, and we're gonna jump right back into it. 25-minute bounty runes are about to spawn. This Templar Assassin is getting her Dragon Lance, which is going to help her siege up towards the high ground very easily. Roshan is up and running, so they're gonna get these bounties. All 4 bounties, it seems, as the side of Tofu and friends is just locked in their own base, much like a quarantine or a lockdown. They're trying to venture out and get some D-wards done, but they are still going to be too afraid to try and venture out too far alone, especially this Phantom Assassin. She only has a butterfly so far, a Battle Fury so far, doesn't have the Desolator yet or the BKB. So usually when we see Phantom Assassins doing well in the lane, they would go for a Battle Fury straight up. If she's required to fight earlier on, she'll go for a Desolator into a BKB, but looks like it is going to be the latter. The former, my bad. Nana does still have the option of just going for BKB right up, but it depends. Phantom Assassin, they can go late game with that hero. So is the Templar Assassin. With this Aegis as well as the Dragon Lance already completed, this will be the go ahead up high ground sign that Pacific Pink was looking for some time. They had dealt quite decent damage on towards this mid tier 1 tower, but they do need to finish it up because this game won't last too long, but every second counts here. Clockwork already has a Spirit Vessel, which is going to help against the Pugna as well as the Oracle. The Assassin, no fear at all with this Desolator as well as the Dragonlance dealing so much damage to this tier 3 tower. It's going to be down to already 1/3 of HP. They're going to continue on. BKB up on the Ursa as well as the Basher. Oh, the Blink Spear does not connect. Mars Shada has made a huge boo-boo as it's going to be Sherry continue giving chase, trying to catch off one of these. Honey Lisa gets bashed up and gets finished off. Sherry pops the BKB. Nana as well. The stun toss combination coming from Sleepless. Not enough. Oh, but the Bashers on towards the Templar Phantom Assassin. Way too much damage. That's going to be her down. That's going to be a Tiny down as well, as it's a triple kill for the Ursa. He's going to get more. One's going to be down. That's a Pugna. They're diving the Fountain. Tiny tries to blink in and get a toss into the Fountain. Not going to be it, as 2 buybacks do come out from the Dire side, and they are in dire straits right now. Phantom Assassin has no buyback, 24 seconds left remaining. Is a 3 or 4 versus 5 situation enough to tempt Pacific Pink from going straight for a melee Rax? Looks like it is going to be Ursa is going to be leading the charge. The Venomancer is going to be help out there. The Desolator is just going to melt this tower as the reduction on the armor way too fast. Don't even need the creeps in the base, as that's going to be the second tier 3 going down on the side of Tofu and friends, as they're desperately holding on. This will be the last hurrah coming in. All ultimates, the hookshot connects onto us. The Pugna, the damage coming from the Templar Assassin isn't going to be enough. The life drain is not going to help him out, as the Vessel is that way too much. Clockwork, KJ barely surviving. Gonna die towards the Purifying Blaze. Oh, the damage from Little One, from Mary, way too much. So is Sherry. They're cleaning house. Nana trying to escape. Does she have someone to blink to? No, she does not. The Tiny is actually there. She does blink towards the Tiny. Oh, but the Phantom Assassin. Nana not able to survive, as Little One will claim her life. Triple kill for the Phantom Assassin. It was a triple kill for the Ursa in the previous fight. Now it's going to be on towards Phantom Assassin. And that is pretty much all she wrote here. 28 minutes in. 24,000 net worth lead. And they are going straight for the jugular. This is the third Rax of the game, the third lane, which is going to go towards the way of Pacific Pink, and it's nigh impossible to fight back against Mega Creeps this early on, because you just have no wave clear. You just have this Phantom Assassin that can try her best to defend on 3 lanes of Mega Creeps, but it is a tall order to ask from anyone. We might wait for this Phantom Assassin to respawn, take one last fight, but I don't think it's going to matter anymore. Oh, Ogre Magi, a little bit too aggressive, does fall. Little One doing a lot of damage. Miri, that's going to be the spills hitting on towards the back line is going to be a 5 versus 4, so that's going to be favoring the side of Tofu and friends. The toss in towards the Fountain, that's going to get a kill on towards the Venomancer. Does pop the ultimate beforehand, but little to no use right now, as Sherry as well as Miri still very strong, fighting back. Oh, pops the cheese on towards the Ursa, goes straight for the Phantom Assassin. She's gonna get bashed, she's gonna fall. There's no false promise to help her out. Honey Lisa trying to survive. Oh, the hookshot connects, perfectly done. Lines up the heroes as well from the side blades, as the Templar Assassin. Does she give a damn? No, she does not. Tries to dive towards the Fountain. Oh, a little bit too scary right now. You can't really dive the Fountain anymore. Thank you, Ice Frog, but that will be it. That's gonna be game 1. Pacific Pink shows up despite a very passive early game. Shows up later on, gets the first game, and is 1-up in this best of 3 series. What a fantastic showing from both sides, but Pacific Pink was ultimately the better team. As we can take a look at the post-game stats, it was just crazy there for Miri. 7-0-6 on this Templar Assassin. Sherry did a very great job as well, 7-1-5. While on the opposing side, for Tofu and friends, they just had no playmakers. They had to rely on this Pugna and Tiny, the Pugna and the Mars, but the Pugna just did not have the best lane, and the Mars just never got off to a great start. Despite having the early Blink Dagger, they just got pressured too earlier on by this very aggressive lineup coming from Pacific Pink, and just got snowballed out like crazy after the initial laning phase. So that being said, guys, don't go anywhere. This is the Legion of Valkyries Dota 2 July 2020 finals between Pacific Pink and Tofu and Friends. We just witnessed game 1 of this best of 3 series. We'll be back with game 2 after a short break. Don't go anywhere. My name is Zero, and I'll see you right after a few messages from our sponsors. Kamusta and Kapkun Cup, everyone. Welcome back to the Legion of Valkyries Dota2 July 2020 finals. If you're just tuning in, we are watching game 2 of this best of 3 finals. My name is Zero and I am your caster for today and have been for the past few weeks. So in case you missed it, Pacific Pink won game number 1 after a very convincing, after a very even laning stage, I would say. They didn't have any particular lanes that just dominated the opponents, but their mid-game control and their movements across the map did set them up for victory in 28 minutes in the first match. But this is a whole new ball game. This is map number 2. This is match number 2, and we'll be seeing if Tofu and friends will be able to block some of their holes in their strategy and force this into game number 3. So we are just early on towards the draft stage. Trend Protector as well as the Doombringer has been banned out there by Pacific Pink, while Tofu and friends has banned out the Quap as well as the Rubik, opting to pick up the Clockwork and Oracle early on. So 2 supports, or maybe an offlane and a support, has been shown from the side of Tofu and friends. Pacific Pink has picked up the Tiny. They really seem to like the Tiny, picking it up at the same position, at the same phase of the draft. They did first pick it in a previous game and they will do the same in the second. If you've been away from Dota for some time, the draft sequence has changed a little bit. First pick the second pick does not get 2 picks consecutively in the first phase. Instead, teams will alternate in their picks, and we have a Vengeful Spirit picked up there by the side of Pacific Pink. If they stand true towards their Tiny in the previous game, this is going to be a position 4 Tiny and a position 5 Vengeful Spirit. We do see the Venge being played as a carry sometimes, but not really that popular. She doesn't really scale well, does a lot of damage, but doesn't have inherent bashes or stuns or ways to boost her damage even higher as compared to a lot of the other meta carries. So the second ban phase is where most of the interesting key things happen. It reviews a lot on your draft and on your opponent's draft. So it is blowing by really quickly, as we can see. Templar Assassin will be the 3rd ban from the side of Tofu and friends. Pacific Pink opting to ban out the Terrorblade as they did in the previous game. We might be seeing another anti-mage ban if they want to stick true to their guns, making sure their opponents don't have all these carries that can farm safely, even being pressured. Carries that can just even if they're in a chokehold, have some way to move around the map, farm the jungle, or even farm the lane safely. Terrorblade is one of those heroes. Anti-Mage is another one of those heroes as well, just using the illusion to just consistently push out the lanes and get your farm. Even though your main hero might be stuck in the base, you still at least get your item progressions through that way. Tofu and friends have other things in mind here, banning out the Templar Assassin, which was very phenomenal, played by Miri in game number 1, as well as banning out the Luna, a hero that has risen back into popularity in the recent few patches, recent few days of the latest patch, but we'll see if it becomes a factor later on towards the patch. Troll Warlord once again banned out there from the side of Pacific Pink. Not really a hero that can farm fast or safely, but the hero is just so strong in the laning phase. Troll able to match up, at least go even with most of the off lanes, having the option of just right clicking, being a ranged hero, as well as having a lot of magical damage coming from the whirling axes. So not wanting to fight against that. Pacific Pink is throwing a wrench in the works. Not like their first game. They're going to pick up the carry right away. It's going to be an anti-mage carry picked up in the 3rd pick. So a very early pick for the anti-mage. You would expect them to maybe pick it later on, but really quickly, really confident with their anti-mage player. Or we just really confident in executing this sort of playstyle, because having an anti-mage means that you'll be essentially playing 4 versus 5 earlier on, until the anti-mage gets a Manta style, which is generally in a decent game he gets it in around 20 minutes. But we have to wait and see if Tofu and friends will find some way to punish this anti-mage. The Legion Commander is one of those heroes that can punish the anti-mage in the lane. Just needs to go for a level in overwhelming odds and just keep right-clicking the anti-mage in the lane. The anti-mage, even though he can burn all the mana of the Legion Commander, the Legion Commander is just way too tanky, having that bonus lifesteal coming from the overwhelming odds is very annoying to deal with for the anti-mage. And of course, being a strength hero with high armor, the Legion Commander can really shrug off a lot of the damage done by the anti-mage. But having the Dazzle there does make it a little bit harder. Once the Legion Commander runs out of mana, she can't debuff the Poison Touch. So there are ways for both of these. They are just, you know, these lanes can go either way for the side of Pacific Pink and Tofu and friends. Pacific Pink did ban out the Templar Assassin, the Phantom Assassin, which they had going on for them in the previous game. The Phantom Assassin, despite having a decent laning stage, didn't really pick off. The Battle Fury timing was just slowed down the game too much for them, and they couldn't really leave the base once Pacific Pink started to get their 5-man snowball on with their Templar Assassin and Ursa. So they don't have the option this game. Tofu and friends has banned out the Ursa as well as the Pugna and the Venomancer. Venomancer was very crucial in the previous game, just created so much space. That was pretty farmed as well against the Phantom Assassin in the lane. Most of the kills were traded there. But Tofu and friends wants to make sure they start off with a clean slate, not wanting to give Pacific Pink any of their comfort heroes. And they're down to their last 2 picks here. Spectre will be the last pick there by Tofu and friends. It was one of those heroes that we discussed about in the first game. Very strong carry right now, pretty much the strongest carry in the entire game late. And if the Spectre is able to reach that late game stage, we might see him just go absolutely crazy. But Pacific Pink wants to just make the game go even faster, picking up a Magnus towards the mid lane. That's going to be played by Miri, while Sherry on the anti-mage once again. So this is a completely different lineup for both sides. We have the ultra snowbally and the very snowbally lineup coming from the side of Pacific Pink. Once the Magnus gets some stacks off for the anti-mage, and the farm is just going to be exponentially faster than what this Spectre can get. So they want to reach their critical mass before Tofu and friends does with the Spectre. So very interesting way to fight back. But once again, we can't really tell too far. This is going to be game 2 of the Legion of Valkyries Dota 2 July 2020 finals. It is one map up for side of Pacific Pink. Will Tofu and friends be able to come back in this game? We'll just have to wait and see. This is game number 2.
Prepare for battle.
For the Radiant side, on Pacific Pink, once again, we have KJ playing the Tiny. Sherry will be on the anti-mage with the sweet new Arcana. We're gonna have Naomi playing the Vengeful Spirit. Magnus will be played by Mary. Last but not least, Dazzle will be played by NM once more. Meanwhile, on the Dire side, the Legion Commander is played by Shada. Sleepless will be playing the Clockwork. The the Skywrath Mage will be handed by Ningen. Oracle once again by Honey Lisa, and last but not least, Spectre will be played by Nana. It's gonna be a battle. It's gonna be a battle of the late game carries to see which of these carries are stronger. The anti-mage, of course, does have faster farming potential. Very difficult to lock him down, but there is a lot of lockdown from the side of Tofu and friends. You have the Legion Commander with the duel. You have the silence coming out from the Skywrath Mage. You have the Clockwork with the long range initiation. So if they time their skills, if they chain their disables correctly, this anti-mage is going to have a tough time. There's the silence, there's a couple of roots, just BKB piercing disable as well coming from the duel. So this anti-mage, Sherry does have to play very smart, but we've seen her play very smart. Sleepless trying to get the bounty runes with the boots as well as the battery assault, but the stun coming from Naomi was just way too much. And Shada just bullying both of them, being that tanky strength hero she is, not gonna be anyway afraid of this anti-mage at level 1 at least. Clockwork did take a lot of damage though, so Sleepless has to walk all the way back to base, but she is pretty speedy, does have 360 movement speed, did opt to go for that boots earlier on, so that's gonna keep her back in lane very quickly, as well as giving some early EXP towards Shada. But Shada is being harassed out there by 3 heroes. They are going to try lane on this anti-mage, make sure that she has the best start ever. And there's nothing much that a Clockwork or a Legion Commander together can really do in this lane, because you don't have that much of a kill potential unless they just really overcommit or use up their skills not wisely. But it looks like the Dazzle is going to go up towards the top lane. It's going to be an off lane Dazzle. And KJ... Oh, that was a pretty random toss there. Dazzle is going to queue up the Necronomicon right away. Both teams trying to get the range creep, not wanting to give too much experience towards the opponents. Meanwhile, mid lane, a matchup that we don't see quite often, is going to be the Magnus versus the Skyrath Mage. Magnus, a strength hero. We do see the advantage usually go towards this melee tanky heroes. And this Magnus is currently leading the charge in terms of last hits. Having that extra high base damage coupled with the Empower is helping Miri steer forward quite a bit, and she's 10-4 against the Skyrath Mages 5-1. But all Negan really needs is level 6, and then we'll see her start roaming around. But before that, she's gonna have to really do her best to try and, you know, stop this Magnus from getting out of control, because we've seen carry Magnuses before, just carrying teams on their backs with the amount of farm that she can get with the Empower, as well as just that late game nuisance. Reverse polarity is a BKB piercing stun, and if you build enough damage, you can just kill off any hero in that duration. Little one really not caring about the damage that Skyrath Mage can do, and is really just pulling away in terms of last hit so far. Let's take a look at how the other lanes are really doing. Bottom lane, Shada does have a huge wave going under her tower, so that's going to be a free level or more for her. Not going to be too worried about that. Oh, Sleepless getting caught out, trying to kill off the courier, but the stun coming out from Naomi is able to stop her for the moment. The courier doesn't really move as fast, but Sleepless is being slowed down there by the Orb of Venom. One more right click from Sherry should be able to finish her off. The Wave of Terror going to make her even softer, and let's see if Clockwork, she does not have cogs, and one more right click from Sherry will get the first blood done and dusted there for the anti-mage. And oh no, this anti-mage is having a great start. Pacific Pink can't even ask for more. Oh, meanwhile, top lane looks like the Oracle was caught out in a bad position. Just the slows as well as the toss was enough to finish off the Oracle, which is pretty squishy earlier on. And it was gonna be the Tiny picking up the last hit. It's gonna be KJ getting the extra gold and 1000 net worth lead already. No, Vengeful Spirit. Naomi in a bad position, being stunned up there by the battery assault. Nice cogs as well, catching out. That's gonna be a trade at least. Sleepless down very low. Sherry might not decide to chase this, because Shada deals so much damage with Moment of Courage as well as overwhelming odds. And Sherry is actually quite low. Might have to wait for the Vengeful to respawn. Just give her a salve and just continue staying in lane. This was one of the things that we talked about, you know, having the Legion Commander face up against the Anti-Mage, is that you just ignore all the mana break damage that Sherry does on the Anti-Mage, and you just continuously right click her with the Moment of Courage, and you, in most situations, you're able to win off that damage trade, that sustain trade as well. And then might be in some trouble. Spectre is in a position to go for it. No more creeps. That's going to be the Fortune Sand as well as Purifying Flames. The courier gets snipes down as well. And then try to use Shallow Grave or maybe the heal. Also Shallow Grave leveled up, but the Purifying Flames just did way too much damage. Bounty runes though are going to spawn, and looks like at least 2 of them 3 of them are going to go towards the real Pacific Pink. Vengeful Spirit being chased down there by the Clockwork, but Sleepless has no more mana, does have the boots, but the Battery Assault has ran out, so she can't really continue giving chase on towards the Oracle. Checking back to the mid lane real quick, the Scarab Mage has 3 Null Talismans already, but Magnus once again is showing that this hero is still very potent in pulling ahead in terms of last hits in the mid lane. Already has level 6, 38 last hits, and boots 2 bracers up and running already. That's gonna excel her farm even faster, giving the mid lane for the Tiny to get some levels. Meanwhile, top lane looks like NM did manage to get a kill on towards the courier, but she is in trouble. Does have the Shadow Glaive, but no TP out, so the Shadow Glaive is just gonna buy some time, but no TP is gonna come in. The Spectre, Nana's just gonna wait for it to get the last hit. Oh no, the Hue's coming from Purifying Flames way too much, so Honey Lisa was forced to take that kill away from the Spectre. Spectre's not gonna complain too much, does have the assist gold as well as the experience. And both carries are off to a fantastic start. Sherry is still farming very well in this bottom lane. Will have her Battle Fury not too long. Oh, Shada trying to go for the courier. Can she get it? One right click with the Moment of Courage, able to seal the deal there. Already level 3 in the Moment of Courage as well as being level 6. Oh, she has a duel trying to get close, but the creeps, her own creeps are blocking her. The tower dealing a lot of damage on towards the Legion Commander. Is she going to try and commit for this? She does have press the attack, but meanwhile in towards the mid lane, that was the Scarab Mage going down. Playing a little bit too aggressively. RP wasn't even used in that. That was a free kill. Legion Commander, though, might try and get one for herself. This Anti-Mage is full health right now. So not gonna be the easiest kill. Did lose the courier. Can't really see what's on the courier right now. But definitely not the best of scenarios to happen. Scarab Mage, level 6, so she does have the Mystic Flare, can set up a kill with maybe the Clockwork or even Fortune's End coming from the Oracle. Oracle already level 4, so 2 levels of Purifying Flames does do quite a bit of damage. Oh, spots out the Magnus. Magnus might be in some trouble. Fortune's End gonna land. The Battery is not gonna stop the Skewer away. No, it's not, and stops her in. Oh, but the 2 bracers deals too much damage. Little One still tanking through everything, gets a kill and gets out as well. That is just a disaster right now for the side of Tofu and friends, losing their Clockwork while they were trying to kill the Magnus. They just had not enough damage to deal with the Magnus, who is just so tanky, having the 2 bracers and the power threads, 1.6k HP. And despite him already being at half health, that pretty much was 800 HP that Magnus was walking around with, and that's not going to be enough to be nuked down by 2 supports, not this early in the game. And the Magnus is happy to get his killing spree all by his lonesome. Already level 8, the Scarab Mage only level 7, trying to catch up the best he can. Bottom lane, they're going to try and pressure on towards this Anti-Mage. Does have 3 levels in Blink, does have the duel. Is she going to blink? Blink is on cooldown. Can they keep up the blink? Oh, Fortune's End gonna catch up, but oh, gets bounced back, hits on towards 2. Nicely done there by the Anti-Mage, able to move out in time before being caught. So a lot of pressure is being laid upon this Anti-Mage so far, but this Magnus, remember, there is basically 2 carries in this game. They have the Magnus who can scale up very fast and get a lot of farm as well. And just stacking the Ancients. Oh, did not get a stack off, but pretty efficient. Already 4 levels in power, and that's gonna help her clear the creeps really quickly. Shovels on cooldown though. Off cooldown. Oh, Sleepless gets spotted out there. They are gonna go for it. Battery Assault, Fortune's End as well as the Purifying Flames. But here comes the Anti-Mage. Honey Lisa, she might be in some trouble. The Silence, the Mystic Flare. Is it gonna be enough to kill off the Anti-Mage? No, it does not. The RP not gonna land. Sleepless gets killed off there by the Vengeful Spirit. And they're gonna try and go for more here. TP in, coming in from the Dazzle as well, trying to punish. But the only kill they get is on towards the Clockwork so far. And we're reaching the 10-minute mark where the bound units are gonna spawn. Huge stack here for the Anti-Mage to pick up. Wave of Terror to make them a little bit more squishy. Sherry can't really tank the Wolf Pack leader, who does crit. Oh no, Legion Commander might get a free kill, but the blink is off cooldown, so that's gonna be a-okay as the Anti-Mage is able to get away to safety. Oh, another huge stack. Sherry, you can't kill this yet. Not yet. Oh, careful. Don't want to get clapped down. That's gonna be a kill for the Legion Commander. Is that dual damage gotten? Nope, dual was used, but just not enough damage to finish off the Vengeful in time. So let's get a go though, which is nice. Tiny does get level 6 on towards the top lane. He has been getting a lot of solo lane experience while the cores were farming in towards the jungle. So he's already level 6, almost to his Blink Dagger as well. That's a pretty fast item timing on the Blink Dagger. Once she has that, she's gonna be able to walk around and gets kills on all these oracles, as well as a Clockwork, who is nowhere near as farmed or tanky as this Tiny at the moment. But they're not giving up yet. Clockwork used the tome, reaches level 5, hoping to catch out a core in towards the mid lane. Does spot out the Magnus, but Magnus might be not the one the target you want to go for without at least another hero such as the Legion Commander or even the Skyrim Mage. They do have duo though, as well as Han, so let's see if they'll go for more. Honey Lisa is in a lot of trouble. Free right click should kill her off, and one more from Little One, from Miri, will be able to get that killing spree. And Miri is just gonna continue farming on. 5.6k net worth already. Anti-Mage only at 4.4, but still leading the pack in terms of the farm on the 2 cores. The Legion Commander is the highest farmed hero for the dire side, but is making her way towards the Blink Dagger as well. But let's see if she's able to get more TPs up towards the top lane. Sleepless not level 6 yet. Oh, might have mistimed it. Should have maybe waited for the Clockwork to reach level 6, or just waited for the Dazzle to just overcommit there. But still, they denied the top tier 1 tower. So that's some gold taken away from the Radiant side. Nicely done there by Tofu and friends, by the Thai squad. But they still have a huge mountain to climb because their timer is slowly shrinking. This Anti-Mage very close to her Battle Fury. One more component until she finishes off her Battle Fury. Magnus as well already has a Echo Saber. Is making her way towards a Blink Dagger as well. So 2 huge cores that you have to deal with, and you have to find some way to do with them as soon as possible. Because Onigen might be in some trouble. The toss back, that silence before the toss was able to land. But KJ will be able to back off for now, as we have Necronomicon completed on NM as well. That's a pretty fast Necronomicon. That's going to be providing a lot of tower damage and pressure for the side of Pacific Pink. How will Tofu respond here? Vengeful already level 6 as well, so swap is available. They might try and jump on her. That's gonna be a free kill if they can. Quick shot, battery assault, duel, and that's gonna be bonus damage going for the Legion Commander for sure. That's the first duel victory of the game, and you do not want to give a Legion Commander too much duel damage as well, because that snowballs really quickly. One kill just sets up another enough damage for the second, and when things starts to snowball, even heroes like the Anti-Mage might just get solo killed by this Legion over and over again, and just continue feeding all the damage. So far, Little One making her way towards that BKB. Oh, mid lane, that's gonna be a kill on towards the Dazzle. Oh, skewer in. Ningen might be in some trouble. There is RP. RP is going to be used by the Disarm Fortress and False Promise as well on towards the Skyrim Mage. There is a stun though, and that's going to be one dead Skyrim Mage. Can't escape from that, boy. You're going to die. Anti-Mage even joins the fray. Yes, silence out. There is the Anti-Mage. Spec does pop the Horn, but that might be a dead Magnus. Duel is used. That was a pretty quick duel cooldown. She might not get enough. No, Little One survives. She does have a skewer. Can she skewer out? Yes, she can. Little One is stay for now. Anti-Mage blinks back, tries to fight back. Sleepless quite low. They do get a kill on towards the Vengeful Spirit. KJ is there. We'll try to get a toss off. Not enough HP. She might die for this. KJ able to back off. The Dazzle has already respawned. That's going to be Halisa dying. Sherry blinks in, gets the last hit. Nana trying to back off the best she can. And looks like she will be able to. But a flurry of exchanges went down. But it looks like it was Pacific. Was Tofu getting the better trade out of everything, getting 3 kills for the trade of 2, and buys them a little bit more time. Spectre was involved in some of those kills, so that's bonus assist gold. Not to mention the Spectre did go for a Midas, so we don't usually see a Midas Spectre. But looks like this Spectre is geared to go towards the late game against this anti-mage. Usually see either a Diffusal Rush or even a Radiance Rush, but looks like she has her other plans. Battle Fury completed on the anti-mage. Magnus does have the Blink Dagger as well, so this is where the side of Pacific Pink will ramp up the pressure.
Dire's top tower is under attack. Dire's middle tower is under attack. Dire's top tower has fallen.
Skyrim Mage does have her role of Atos as well. That's gonna help her pick off the anti-mage at least, as long as the Atos as well as the Silence lands. The anti-mage is, before she gets the Mancer style, she's gonna be vulnerable to the combination coming from the Skyrim Mage. Anti-mage not really that tanky, 900 HP already only, and under the ward so far, but looks like Pacific Pink is ready to take a fight. They are planting down deep wards. They have a Blink Dagger on the Tiny already, so let's just see how this tier 2 tower will go. Tiny goes straight for the Spectre. Spectre taking a lot of damage. The hook shot, saving Nana for the moment. Nana actually backs off. The door is going to be used. It's chaos everywhere. That's going to be used on the Tiny. Tiny actually survives through the entire duel duration. Gets another combination off. The Vengeful does fall. RP hits on you too, and the anti-mage huge mana void connecting onto everyone. And that's going to be a 4-hero kill on the side of Pacific Pink as they execute perfectly that RP followed by the mana void. Just dealt way too much damage. They get 4, lose only the Vengeful Spirit, but hey, I'll take that deal any day. Even the Vengeful Spirit happy to just give her life for that huge trade-off, as well as getting the tier 2 tower. And they might be able to pressure tier 3 as well. Sherry, after that, definitely will have her Manta style up and running very soon. This tier 3 that's being done so much damage. Sherry tries to reflect the Spectral Dagger, but you can't do that, sir or ma'am. It is an area skill. You can't reflect area skills. And right now, it is going to be Pacific Pink trying to get the hell out of this, as the Avalanche just stops the combination coming from the Skyrim Mage. Not able to land this Ancient Seal or the ultimate in time, but NM might still get paid off here. Blue does connect. That's going to be the dead one more right click. Yeah, that's going to be a dead Dazzle for sure. So at least they get something out of it, which is actual dual damage there for the Legion Commander. Spectre did not die as well in the previous fight, which was their first target. So they have that going for them for the side of Tofu and Friends. Midas as well as Yasha on towards the Spectre, but she's gonna need a lot more to do with this anti-mage as well as the Magnus right now, because Manta style almost completed there for the anti-mage as well as a Battle Fury, while Magnus is making her way towards a BKB as well. So once this BKB is up, the next few fights is just gonna be very one-sided. Dazzle does have a Necronomicon 3 already, which is going to help boost up her farm even more. And having level 2 in bad Juju means that it has almost permanent uptime. Courier gets sniped out there by Miri with the Blink Dagger, gets spotted out there as well. And without the Haunt, I'm not seeing a good position for the side of Tofu and Friends to take a fight here, because RP is up in right now. Basically everyone's ultimate is up. They can take another fight. The other one does have a blink. The Cogs is gonna buy her some time. She just tries to get out of this, but the damage coming from the Magnus way too much. Skewers him back in. One more after the hook shot connects on towards the Vengeful, but that's not gonna save her life. That's gonna be the Clockwork going down, and down to a 4 versus 5. They're going for Roshan. It seems they do have a lot of sustain with the Dazzle. Does have a Essence Ring as well. This Dazzle is gonna be very tanky as long as she doesn't get chain stun. Pops the heal, pops the SMS ring, and this can continue hitting on towards this Roshan. Anti-mage is here as well. Mancer style already completed, making her way towards the more offensive option, which is the Basher, which will help out just lock down all these tanky heroes after the RP unit. And Roshan is going down so quickly. Having the Vengeful Spirit wave of terror as well reduces the armor, and that's gonna be Aegis going towards the way of the anti-mage, and of course picks up the double damage rune as well. Tiny spots out the Spectre. Spectre is gonna back off, doesn't know who is behind us. Tiny doesn't want to overcommit or give away a free kill, but every single ultimate is up. They do still have the siege creep towards the mid lane as well. Are they gonna try and go up towards the high ground for this? Might want to try and get a pick off first. Sleepless might be the sacrificial lamb. The Tiny going in, spots out the Skyra Mage, does a combination, not able to bring her down, tries to kill off the Tiny. Yes, she does die. False Promise is used. Oh, a huge ultimate, but the Anti-Mage brings down both low. Anti-Mage not done yet, continues going in. She might be in some trouble, does have the Aegis, gets killed off. The Shadow Grave though saves her for a couple more seconds. The Root, is Sherry gonna die? The swap from keeping her alive. Oh, the Manta dodge! Dodges the damage coming from the Oracle as well as the Skyra Mage, and that keeps her alive. Sherry, what a player! The Vengeful as well as the Dazzle just helped so much as well, keeping the Anti-Mage alive, and that's gonna be one lane of Raxus at least. They do still have the Aegis on the Anti-Mage, and that's gonna help them stay alive for so long. Little one tanking through a lot. They still have the RP as well. You want to keep that for the next engagement, but that's gonna be the first lane of Rax going down towards the way of Pacific Pink, as this Anti-Mage is so lucky to be alive, yet so skillful to create her own luck. After whole engagement, Vengeful Spirit does have her 4 staff completed. Dazzle is gonna make her way towards Arcane Boots into Greaves right after this, most likely. And this Anti-Mage buys the Basher directly through cash. Spots out Little One, does cancel the blink with the overwhelming odds, but they're not gonna try and go for a kill on towards the Magnus. They know that they have no damage to try and kill off the Magnus. Oh, they spot one out. Shader have to be careful here. There is a blink RP there. There is a BKB on towards this Magnus as well. Bottom killed one tower, going down really quickly. Anti-Mage not even joining the fight yet, but already picks up the Basher. Oh, spots out one of them. Maybe play aggressive, get the bash. Nope, does not. Blinks in aggressively. Might get silence. Pops out. Echoes is used. There is a blink. There is a duel. No, the stun toss. Tries to keep her alive for the moment. There is still. Oh, nice use. Healing up the Legion Commander as well as the swap, just providing so much defense. Negan might cause all the teammates to die as tries to get a mana void off and gets 2 as well. Gets the Oracle. Oh, the mana void was absolutely huge. Nana being tossed back. Sherry continue fighting on. She's not dying. That's gonna be 1 down. Legion Commander is dead. Nana is dead as well. 4 heroes down. The Aegis is expended, but Sherry does not give a hoot. Oh, the first hit bash onto her Sleepless. This is it. This is over. Bottom lane gets pushed out on towards the tier 3. And Anti-Mage is not done yet. Goes straight towards the tier 4. Tries to get off Shader, who just bought back. But Sherry will play it safe and continue getting the objectives. Pushing out the top lane. There is 2 more tier 3s going on to be picked up there. Bottom tier 3 is half health, so it's top tier 3. They are gonna get the top tier 3 at least, and at least a lane of Rax. They still have the RP for the next fight, but they don't seem to even need it. This Sherry is just absolutely huge right now, and on the Anti-Mage. And if she wants to play safe, she can go for items like a BKB, but no, Abyssal Blade straight up, not even caring a single thing on the opponent's side, because she knows that she is just way too far ahead. And of course, the Anti-Mage does still have the Dazzle, the Vengeful, so many defensive capabilities on the support heroes to keep the Anti-Mage alive. Not to mention, even in a pinch, they can have the tiny toss back on the Anti-Mage too. So Sherry, really no fear in the world right now. 2 lanes of Rax down, 24 minutes, pretty much the same situation that Tofu and friends were. And Pacific Pink looks like they are hungry for that $600 prize pool of the Legion of Valkyries July finals.
Holy moly!
Pacific Pink, only one more thing to do right now, which is take the 3rd lane of Rax. and try and end the game. Spectre, is she in fighting shape yet? No, only a Mancer style right now. Very far behind. Does have the Vampire Fangs to sustain a little bit longer, but without the actual items, she's not going to be able to fight against this Anti-Mage. Abyssal Blade, full Abyssal Blade completed on this Anti-Mage. She can jump on anyone she pleases and pretty much nuke her down. Oh, trying to go for Honey Lisa on towards the Oracle. Pretty greedy there. Still thinking about it. But that's gonna be bottom Raxus down, bottom tier 3 down. That's gonna be Raxus to follow not long after, as the ranged Rax is down. So is the melee. The damage coming from the Magnus as well as the Anti-Mage just way too much. Chops it right down. Sherry, you can't reflect that. I think I told you this is the second time. Tiny blinks in, tries to get the clockwork, but does not get to toss him back. Oh, the Abyssal Blade used straight on towards the Skyrim Mage. Beyond Godlike Streak for Sherry, and she is not done. Giving chase on towards Honey Lisa. She has another blink in 2 seconds. And this is one dead Oracle in the continue chasing, but no, they are not done yet. They use the RP on towards the Spectre, gets the kill, and gets a kill on towards the Clockwork as well. Nice blink coming in from the Legion Commander, keeping her alive through the Foul's Promise. And they are not considering diving the Fountain, I hope. No, they're thinking about it. Magnus, look at what she bought. Ghost Scepter, and this is going to be a dive for sure. Forces Sherry in the Ghost Scepter to keep her alive. Ghost Scepter on towards Little One, on towards Mary, not having to be used right now. Oh, the stun. Oh, so many Ghost Scepters. They're just fooling around. This is one dead Tiny though, as the Fountain almost finishes off. 400 HP. They're going to get it for sure. And that's going to be the dead Tiny. You know, fooling around too much. But they are just feeding themselves right now for the side of Pacific Pink. 3 levels of Rax is down. Tier 4 is falling soon after. They know they are in a great position. Oh, Blade Mail used. They get a kill on towards the Magnus. That's huge. Will they be able to continue on? Get this Anti-Mage free. Hookshot connects on towards 2. Battery Assault as well as the knockback. Sherry does have a blink. She's just playing around. Blink straight towards the lead. Skyrim Mage once again gets the kill. And not done yet. Sherry does not have the Abyssal, but she does have the blink. Goes straight for the Oracle. Gets the kill and continues fighting on. Sherry is an absolute madman right now. Has the backup of the Vengeful as well as the Dazzle. Sherry thinking about diving the Fountain, but the Rax, the tier 4s are already down. Play objective, says the dead Magnus, and they're going for it. This is gonna be your champions for the July Legion of Valkyries Dota 2 finals. We have Pacific Pink, your champions, once again. Now that was a fantastic best of 3 series. Wish we would have had more, but of course, that was a fantastic showing from Pacific Pink as well as Tofu and friends. My name is Zero. Hope you guys enjoyed my casting. Hope you guys enjoyed the games coming from both teams. Of course, this will be the end of the stream for today. This tournament is of course presented to you by Beyond Godlike. For more information about other tournaments, we have seen PUBG. PC, we have Dota 2 as well as Dota 2 female tournaments sponsored by Legion Lenovo. So for more information about all these tournaments, feel free to visit facebook.com/beyondgodlike.net and legion.lenovo.com. But before I close things out, a huge shout out to all the viewers out there, and congratulations to Pacific Pink once again. You take home $600 US. Tofu and friends is gonna be content with 250. But I digress, guys. Thank you for watching, everyone. My name is Zero. Good night, and see you guys again soon.